Hey, what's up? This is Lamar Tyler, creator and founder of Traffic, Sales, and Profit. We need you to check out this new series we got called Ask Lamar Anything. I want your pressing business questions, and every week I'm going to answer some of the best ones. So make sure you watch it, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share this video. And then if you got questions, make sure you join our free Facebook group, Traffic, Sales, and Profit with Lamar Tyler. The link is down below in the description.
So Francis asks, what's your number one way to stay motivated / encouraged as an entrepreneur?
All right, Francis, my number one way to stay encouraged / motivated / hype, right? Is having a goal, man. I feel like if you got a goal and you just pushing towards the goal, you straight. Like as long as you got a goal, it got to be something that you really want to achieve. You got a goal you really want to achieve. That should be enough to motivate you, or maybe the goal ain't big enough. So I just would say, Francis, figure out what the goal is, figure out why you want that to be the goal, like what gives you the drive behind that, and then wake up every day with a passion to kind of hit that goal and make it happen. And for people that aren't self-motivated, because I'm like a self-motivated person, people that aren't self-motivated, I say find out what your trigger is to get you motivated. Is it a song? Is it music? Is it a motivational speech? Literally like whatever you got to do to get your head in that space and in that zone, I would do it.
Brianna says, if you could start any business from scratch today, what would it be?
All right, if I could start any business from scratch, I wouldn't tell Brianna, because she's trying to steal my ideas. If I could start any business from scratch, I don't know what the business would be, but I know what the traits would be. It would be a business that solves a major pain point and challenge that people have. So like literally like people struggle with this. They can't get past it. They can't avoid it. They keep them up at night, that type of thing. So major pain point and challenge. And it's something that overcomes that. It would be a business where it has a high average order value, meaning when people purchase that thing, it's like a nice size purchase when they do it. That gives me more flexibility to run ads and advertisements and stuff like that as we kind of go on and move. The other thing I would say is that I will want something where I can either get that customer to come back to me so they can spend with me over and over again, or it's a recurring revenue type of piece where I sell it to them once and then all I got to do is worry about fulfilling at a high level, so that you don't get caught into a thing where you got a great product or service, but you sell it to people once and then they're gone and you're always looking for new people.
Brittany says, how do you increase your rates?
Brittany wants to know how to increase your rates. Brittany, just increase your rates. Like, it ain't nothing sexy to say. Like if you got a feeling in your heart your rates are not enough, they're probably not enough. And most people do actually undercharge. So first thing I would do is just go out into the marketplace and see what other people that have comparable services are actually charging. And most of the time you'll find that you probably are below what those people are doing. So Brittany, first I would jump on and actually look at that and take care of that. The next thing I would do is start having those conversations, because a lot of times the problem is not with the people, the problem is with you. And it's the way you think and you value what you actually do. So begin to try to shift your mindset around the actual value that you feel like you bring to the marketplace, and then see how you can reposition that. So I would, look at what other people are doing in the marketplace, start to train my mind that, hey, it's worth more. And then what I would do also is make sure I'm not charging so much but the hour, but what the value I actually bring to the hour. So what that means is what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look and say, all right, for this, I'm coaching these people and they get this actual transformation. Well, how much is that transformation potentially worth to them? And then do I have the case studies, the proof, and all of the experience to show that I can actually get them that transformation? And if I can show them that they'll get a return on the investment, once that transformation is done, then without a shadow of a doubt, they'll easily say yes. They'll write me a check, they'll swipe their credit card, or do whatever it is they gotta do.
Tyler said, top lessons you've learned on how to hire solid people for your team.
That's good. All right. So I'm going to say number one lesson on hiring solid people for your team. I think most new entrepreneurs fall into a gap where originally what they try to do is they say, all right, I finally need to bring somebody on, which most times they bring people on too late. But then they look and say, this is the max I can pay for this. Right? And they squeeze out like a little bit, and then they try to bring in people at the lower end of the spectrum, which most times people don't have experience. So they bring those people who don't have experience and they try to train them and teach them up, which bringing on team is hard anyway. And getting that right fit and making sure you get the right people on the bus in the right seats is hard by itself. But then when they start to bring in people that don't have experience, that haven't worked anywhere, they haven't done the things they need them to do, it just overly complicates the process even more. So one of the things I would say is from the beginning, instead of doing what most entrepreneurs did, what we did in the early days, which is starting from the bottom and trying to get people with no experience that haven't done anything because you can get them at a cheaper rate, switch that around and try to get people from the top. And it's not a thing of I can't afford to get those people. It's almost like you can't afford not to. So because if you get people at the top, now you're getting people that literally can take some of the burden off of you because they should be able to come in at a level of what you're doing or close to what you're doing at that. If not, bringing in somebody that even is further than you already.
Yeah, Freddie just had a follow-up, like, should a new entrepreneur focus on profits or passion?
People always want to talk about passion, right? Freddie said, should they focus on profit or passion? Profit is the thing. Like, you got to be able to drive revenue. I don't care what your passion is. I don't care what your passion is about. These customers don't care about your passion. Kim, or whoever asked the question, but I'm just giving back to you because you asking me. Customers don't care about it. They don't care about your passion, right? All they care about is what's in it for them, right? Like I'm buying your thing. Literally, like, what's in it for me is I go to buy this thing from you. So that's what they care about. So I'm going to create something that I can build revenue and income with. Because if I can build revenue with it, then I can funnel that revenue somewhere else to a passion project. I feel like a lot of times too in the Black community, we want to help. Like, we're people that love to help other people. And that's great, right? And a lot of us had somebody that helped us or helped our families as we moved on. So I feel like we have a heart to help other people on anybody else probably. But here's the thing though. It's almost like when you are getting on an airplane and they give you their announcements first. What's the first thing they say? Hey, before you can save anybody else in case of emergency, get that mask and you got to put yours on first. So for anybody that's in that, I don't know, to follow, this thing here makes you money, the thing I'm passionate about, get the thing that make you money. That's putting your mask on first. So then you can get straight to it. You can make sure your situation is solidified, and then you can funnel money, resources, people, hours, whatever else, once you're straight, into the other passion projects that may or may not be businesses. If we can talk about that for a second, because a lot of people try to turn their passion project into an actual business when it shouldn't be that. It should just be a nonprofit, or it should just be their ministry, or it should be something else. But it's not the thing if they're trying to put a burden on it that, hey, I need to make this amount of money and I'm gonna make it to 6 figures, I'm gonna make it to 7 figures, I'm gonna do all these other things I want to do. That may not even be what it is. So focus on the profit, focus on getting to the money. When you get to the money, that'll make everything else easier.
Freddie also asked, what is the biggest biz mistake you've ever made and the lessons you learned from it?
All right, let me look you all in the face. We're gonna have a 1 question minimum. Yeah, from now on. Y'all can't have no chains of questions, 3 and 4. We're gonna push those in the subsequent months. The biggest business mistake I've ever made. That's interesting. It's interesting. Not that I don't make mistakes, but I don't think I think about mistakes like most people do. I don't really harp on them. I just take the lesson from it and keep moving on it. So a lot of times people ask me stuff like that. It's hard for me to even reflect back on it and think about stuff like that. I will probably say a few of the ones that stand out. I went into business with my family. That one was a little sticky and a little rough, and it almost did like major damage to my family. So I would say now I'm in business with my wife, so you might say, hey, Lamar, what's different? That's different. Being in business with your spouse is actually different than being in business with your immediate family. 2 different things. So I would say be leery of that because of the ramifications it can actually have on your full family structure. In addition to that, the other things I would say is, one time I had to be very careful about the way we built our staff and our team, because we had a staff and team that was not built around revenue. So we had a staff and team where basically, it was a bunch of people in the room where no matter how great of a job they did, it didn't necessarily drive more revenue into the business. So if the business model changes or the business model slows down, it's not like, hey, I got a person to build websites. And every time they build a website, guess what? It's a paycheck at the end of that. We could build websites for people all day. It's not like, hey, I got a person that writes copy for somebody. And if we write copy for people, then we get paid at the end of it, right? You got to make sure how you load your team and making sure that you kind of put the right people in the right place, but then it's also balanced revenue-wise, payroll-wise, and things like that. You can get in some tricky situations.